University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is David Stouffer and I get to be the recruitment coordinator for the UMSL College of Education. Each week on this podcast, we will meet an innovator in the field of education. We will spend some time getting to know them and learning about their work and how it can help you and yours. It is my sincere hope that this podcast will be a source of encouragement and support as you work to continue impacting lives as an educator. My guest today is Dr. Julie Smith-Sodey and Monica Phelps-Pineda. Dr. Sodey works with our ACP schools and is a coordinator with the teachers and the students there. Monica Phelps-Pineda is our Degree in 3 coordinator in the College of Ed. I'm going to give you guys both a chance to introduce yourselves in a little more detail. So Dr. Smith-Sodey, if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your role at the College of Ed.
Sure. So my name is Julie Sodey, and I am an assistant teaching professor in the College of Education. I'm also the associate department chair, and I am the faculty advisor for Educate, our student-led professional and personal organization here on campus. And my role here today that I want to talk with you mostly about is I work as the ACP liaison with local high schools and courses that we offer in the College of Ed.
Great. Thank you. Monica, introduce yourself and a little bit about your role here at the College of Ed.
So I am a doctoral student at UMSL. I'm in counseling, education, and supervision. And I am also the Degree in 3 coordinator for the UMSL College of Ed. And I'm going to be talking to you all a little bit about what Degree in 3 is and how you can get involved with Degree in 3 once you're in high school and work to get your degree in 3 years.
That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. Dr. Sodey, if you wouldn't mind, let's start from the basics. Tell us what ACP is and what that means.
So ACP stands for Advanced Credit Program, and the Advanced Credit Program is the means by which students, high school students, can take courses on their high school campuses that will then transfer into UMSL for college credit. So say, for example, I'm a junior at a local high school, and I have the opportunity to take college algebra. Maybe I can take that at my high school. And if I register through UMSL and pay a very reduced tuition rate for that particular course, then that course remains on my transcript and it transfers with me into college. So it's a course that I can take while I'm in high school, and then it's already out of the way and I don't have to take it when I get to college. So that's kind of the simplest explanation of it. So it's an opportunity to take college credits at your high schools for a much reduced rate than what it would cost if you were a full-time college student.
And then is there scholarship money available to students that have ACP credit, or is it just the fact that they have the discounted rate and they already have the credit coming into college?
Yeah, so that kind of depends. Depending on the school district that you belong to, sometimes school districts themselves have money to help pay for their high school students to take college credit. So that's always something to ask about. That varies from district to district and just in terms of the financial need of their students. There is also after the fact. So when you're a high school student, and you take the ACP credit, once you come to campus, you're actually eligible for a scholarship while you're an UMSL student. So I'm a high school senior. I pay $70 a credit hour to take a class, but a year later, when I enroll at UMSL, I get a $2,000 scholarship per year to then apply towards all of my UMSL tuition. So, and that $2,000 you get every year. So up to 4 years, you're eligible for that $2,000. As far as the high school costs, so like I said, some schools have funds available. Sometimes teachers have been able to earn some scholarship funds for their students, but typically students pay about $70. Right now it's $70 per credit hour out of pocket for those classes. So if you're taking a 3 credit hour class, then the cost would be $210.
And our ACP.
Did I say a 2 credit hour class or a 3 credit hour class? Did I say that correct?
I think so.
My math.
We'll assume you
Sorry.
did. Yes,
Yeah.
that's okay. And the ACP, the opportunity for students to earn ACP credit comes in all subject areas, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And so at your high school, I mean, what you would want to do is, so I'm an ACP liaison from the university, but at your high school, there's going to be also an ACP coordinator. So that person can confirm for you all of the courses that are available, which courses count for college credit, if you take them for college credit, and then they can help you with identifying the ones that are appropriate for your schedule each semester.
Awesome. Talk about the specific role you have with the education classes offered at the high schools and what we do here at UMSL to kind of support them.
Sure. So in my role as ACP liaison, I work directly with the high school teachers that are teaching our College of Education courses at your high schools. So we currently offer 3 courses that are part of our teacher education program. Three different courses could be available at your high school for ACP credit. Now, not all of the high schools offer all 3, but again, you could check with your high school coordinator and figure out which ones we offer. But we currently have 3 available. And the first of those is an Ed Psych class. It's a child development course. And that child development course also counts as a Gen Ed requirement, which is something that might be unfamiliar to high school students. But the great thing about Gen Ed requirements is that those courses will apply to any 4-year program. And in the state of Missouri, we call them the core 42. So you're trying to get up to 42 general ed requirements. One of our teacher ed courses, this child development course, will count for a gen ed requirement. So even if you don't want to be a teacher, but you're interested in psychology or interested in cognitive development in humans, this is a great course to take, and it could count for a gen ed requirement also. And then we offer 2 other classes at your high schools. We might offer 2 other, we have 2 available that are specific to teacher education. We call those 2 courses Education Foundations of Teaching in American Schools, and an Early Clinical Experience course. High schools might call them something a little bit different. So depending on where you are in school, sometimes they call it something like Pathways to Teaching or Introduction to Teaching. But those are our 2 courses, and those 2 courses go together. And with those 2 courses, you'll do things such as, first, you'll learn a lot about American schools and historical and current issues in education. And then in the early clinical part, you'll actually spend some time working in school. So typically our high school students will go and work at middle schools and elementary schools in their districts to do those hours.
So coming from the other side of things, the perspective of maybe a college and career counselor or a district administrator of a school that doesn't have any of those classes offered, what would they need to do in order to find out more and actually begin the process of offering those classes?
Yeah, so we're always looking for new partners out there. We, when Monica and I go out into the schools, we always say a couple of things. Like, of course, we're pro UMSL because we're here for UMSL, but we're also pro teacher and we're also pro education. We're both first generation college students. We want all the high school students out there to know that these opportunities exist. So if you're at a high school that does not currently have ACP offerings or has limited ACP offerings and maybe none from the College of Ed, we're happy to meet with you and get that coordinated. The best first step really would be to reach out to our ACP office here on campus. And then we could kind of do an inventory of what you have or what you might be able to offer. And then it's pretty simple to get that relationship going, really. I mean, we have taken on new partners as recently as the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we already have them up and running for the start of the year. So it can happen usually within a semester if we need to.
That's great. Thank you. Ms. Phelps-Pineda, there's a direct pathway and connection between what you do and what Dr. Sodey does. Talk a little bit about that as it relates to the Degree in 3 program.
That's right, we do. In our visits, Dr. Sodey does a really great job describing how ACP and Degree in 3 is related. So as she has mentioned already, the more ACP courses that you take in your high school, you can plug those right into the college courses that you need to be able to take to be able to complete your degree. Now, we offer Degree in 3 for several accelerated pathways. This includes elementary education, chemistry, computer science, philosophy, physics, political science, math, history, language, and more. And through through this pathway, the students that come through the Degree in 3 pathway are able to enjoy that experience of that traditional 4-year degree, but being able to complete it in a 3-year fast track. In discussions in development of the Degree in 3, there was a lot of talk about reservations that students may have in pursuing higher ed. And some of those reasons might have been the amount of time that it takes to get the degree. Sometimes students can graduate in 4 years, but a lot of the times it can turn into 5 years, 6 years, it gets extended. The costs to get the degree, college is not inexpensive, and we're aware of that. So really capitalizing on the ACP credits, any of the college credits that your school offers, honors courses even, or those AP courses, any of that you can take in high school to help with the costs. We're happy to plug those in and help find ways to use those courses to count towards your college degree. So that helps with costs. And then also the lack of career development support. And so this was a really big one. The idea that students don't really know what all is involved in the degree, what all it takes to get the degree, what happens after you get the degree. So really the transparency and support in all of that is what I think a lot of students are looking for. And that's definitely something that the Degree in 3 pathways and program can speak to. We really just try to connect with those highly motivated students, and we offer this accelerated pathway in various academic programs like elementary education, which is a focus for me. Just to increase access and let students know that this is attainable.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not a math person, so I'm not going to try to do math in my head, but it sounds like at $70 a credit hour as a high school student taking ACP classes as compared to over $300 a credit hour as an undergraduate student at any college, in the state, you're saving a heck of a lot of money for college credit. Plus you're getting a $2,000 scholarship every semester for the rest of your college career.
Yes.
And the potential to get your degree in 3 years instead of 4 years. That's a pretty incredible savings financially.
Yeah. We've averaged it out to be that one extra year can cost anywhere up to, almost $130,000. Thinking about those courses that you have to pay for, how extended the degree tends to take if you have to space it out. We're really just looking to get students to maximize their dollars, take those courses in high school, be able to apply those to a college degree. So that way, when they first set foot onto our UMSL campus, they're already knocking out some of those courses that they would take throughout those semesters, and just really help them to get in and out, get started working, which is, I know, definitely a need for a lot of families. You got to work, you got to have that income. So we're just there to support students get in and get out.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Talk, Ms. Phelps-Pineda, if you would, about your work specifically with the education students and what you do and your individualized plans. I think that's a pretty remarkable support that you provide the students that come through the College of Ed.
Yeah, so I collaborate with high schools, and they share with me all the course offerings that could be applied to college credit. And I get the list. It doesn't matter from what university it's coming in from, whether it's an AP course, whether it's an honors course, whether it's an ACP course from our university or another. We, just like Dr. Sodey was mentioning, we want to get we want to get students into our schools. And so I create this personalized plan with all of those, course equivalency transfer credits. And I create this plan specifically for your school. So that way, what courses you can take in high school that will transfer in to meet the requirements for those gen ed courses, those core 42 courses that Dr. Sodey was talking about, and also those degree specific courses that your school might also be offering there as well. So I will likely be meeting with someone from your school, getting all of that information together, creating this personalized plan. So that way you're not guessing, should I take this humanities course? Should I take this humanities course? You know exactly which ones will transfer in if you're wanting to be an UMSL student in the College of Education. And yeah, it's a personalized process just for you.
How does a student learn more if they're a high school senior and they make the decision to come to UMSL? How do they pursue that to be able to get set up with the Degree in 3 plan?
Yeah, so you would get in contact with me. I would be your first point of contact. If you're interested in elementary ed, or if you're really interested in any of the degree plans that we have that fall under that Degree in 3 pathway. And I am going to get you connected to the right people, so that way we can find ways to really support you in the process, getting those classes counted for, getting that career development support, and yeah, just being alongside you through the process.
It's amazing where education is right now and the opportunities that are out there for kids and schools to provide these opportunities. One more 2-part question for both of you. First part, how would you encourage a high school student to pursue ACP credit? What advice, what encouragement would you give? And then second part, how would you encourage a student to consider coming to UMSL to follow through and become a teacher and join us in the College of Education? Dr. Sodey, we'll start with you.
Sure. Well, first of all, I would say as far as the ACP offerings, it's really important that you work closely with your guidance counselor at your own high school, because they're going to know your whole program better than we would. We know what comes out of UMSL, but we don't necessarily know how all that is situated within your high school, except Monica will, if you decide, hey, I'm really thinking about elementary school teaching and I want to get started on this as soon as possible. That's what that personal plan is that she was talking about, because she will know your particular offerings and can guide you on those. But most of all, I think for a lot of students, sometimes we hear the terms ACP, or we hear the terms advanced credit, or we hear the term dual credit. And I just think it's really important that you ask the questions at your high school so that you know what's offered and you know what's available and where it might lead you to. I also think that, just to kind of return to the money piece that we talked about a few minutes ago, I know that when you're in high school that $70 might be a lot of money out of your pocket. And if you're taking a 3 credit hour class and that's $210, that could feel like a lot of money to you. We certainly recognize that. But the long-term benefits of that, if you know you really want to go to college, just every opportunity that you have or you and your family can do to help you chip away at that can make a significant difference. So I also want to say a lot of us in high school aren't really sure what we want to be in life. And so we're sitting here talking to you like, hey, you want to be a teacher? Come be with us. And we would love to have you want to be a teacher and love to have you come be with us. But I also just want to emphasize that, as I said before, we're really pro education. And I just mean education in a general sense, not pro teacher ed. Of course, I'm pro teacher ed, but we're also just pro education in general. So we just really encourage you, especially kind of once you cross that corner of becoming a high school junior. It feels early, but it's not too early to start thinking about programming and thinking about where you might want to go, even if you're just thinking about it in terms of general education. It's never too early to start thinking about your general education part. You can still give it a little more time in terms of the exact career you want, but ACP can help you out with that general ed piece as well.
Thank you. Ms. Phelps-Pineda, would you like to answer that last question as well?
Goodness, Dr. Sodey, you really summed that up real well. I don't know. I think that sometimes college can seem unattainable. The time, the money, the real understanding as to what you're really getting yourself into. And I think that that's what brings a lot of hesitancy to pursue it. And I really love that Dr. Sodey focused in on just asking those questions, reaching out, connecting. We're here and we are happy to have those conversations, connect you with the right people, offer that support. And that's what I love about the Degree in 3 program. It's really to sum it up, it's just a big support system for you to meet your needs, through an accelerated pathway. And so not only will you get a personalized plan where you know exactly how to maximize the courses in high school and how to apply those to a college degree. Those personalized plans are awesome, but you're also going to receive that personal support from myself, even before you set foot on campus. Then also while you're here at UMSL, and then, once you leave, you're also going to be connected to a cohort of students that are also going through the same process. So you're going to have that really nice support system from them. And you're also going to get access to all kinds of presentations and workshops and campus events. So you're just going to have access to a lot of career development tools and mentors, getting connected with your community members, and just receive a lot of big supports as you grow into becoming educators yourself.
It's so exciting for me to be part of a university, a college of education that's committed to supporting students, supporting teachers, supporting schools, and ultimately families, and helping kids grow, get a college of education, and start a fantastic career as teachers. If you'd like more information about our ACP and our Degree in 3 programs through the College of Education, you can call me anytime. My number is 314-243-0773. I can connect you with Dr. Sodey, and I can connect you with Monica Phelps-Pineda very easily to get started in a great adventure in education. Dr. Sodey, Ms. Phelps-Pineda, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your passion for education.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, David.
Yes, thank you for having us. Remember to reach out, ask questions. We're happy to help.
I am honored that you chose to join me today for the University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. I hope you'll join me next time. Till then, I'm David Stouffer. Thank you for the work you do. Never forget, you are making a difference every day.